what have you done at HubSpot to make this different than other companies for salespeople? How do we do things differently?
Yeah, so we've really tried to follow that blueprint, and countless times I've had friends with our sales folks refer friends who said, listen, if you're going to be a sales professional over the next couple of decades, you have to come here and watch how this place is run. This is like where sales is going. So I think that's exciting for a lot of people to come in and like kind of learn from what we believe are the best practices on where the sales model is headed in the next couple of years. As a salesperson, it's fun to work here, I think. First off, you get ridiculous amounts of leads. I mean, at a bare, you get hundreds of leads as a salesperson every single month. And I've never come across anyone else who's like, oh yeah, I'm working at a company, I get hundreds of leads like showing up on my desk every month. So as you know, we eat our own cooking. We preach inbound marketing, we do inbound marketing. Our marketing team generated over 40,000 inbound leads last month, right? I have 70 salespeople out there on the floor that are closing business. That's a lot of leads, for those folks. And we filter them, we nurture them. It's not like you're going through a long list of random folks.
Right.
So that makes it really exciting as a sales professional. The other thing is like we've won the best place to work in Boston now 2 years in a row, beating out some like really amazing companies. I'm somewhat humbled to see that happen, and I think sales being a big team, I think we just have a really great culture. I'm a firm believer in a very team-based culture. I think a lot of sales is headed in a team direction. We're a fast growth company. And these guys need to be working together to figure out best practices. I think a lot of environments are, they're a little backstabbing in sales, like sales cultures are a little notorious for that. It is important to have competition within sales, but there's a fine line between friendly competition and stuff that becomes very political and backstabbing. No one wants to work in that culture. So we've really, really worked hard to maintain a team-based culture. A lot of our contests are team-based as opposed to like individual contests.
Right.
So as opposed to one person winning a lot of money, it's a team winning a trip down to Foxwoods. And it's those little things that gets the hands clapping, that gets people working together and makes it a fun place to work.
Right. The other thing I think that's really interesting at HubSpot is that the pre-sales team, the sales team, work closely with the post-sales team during the sales process.
Right.
So there's a lot of sort of synergy there as well, where you can get that help from the actual post-sale consultant on the sale, and vice versa. The salesperson can help make sure that the consultant knows exactly what to expect from this customer because you guys have been working with them the longest.
Yeah, I mean, you experienced that firsthand, Colleen, as one of the first people that was handling the post-sale stuff. And that's a great point, is kind of another trigger of this new age way of selling. It causes a lot more reliance and integration with other departments. I think traditionally you had sales over here and marketing over here and the customer group over here and the engineering team over here. That's a death to this model. The salespeople need to sit with their customer counterparts and be working on these customers, bringing those folks in pre-sale to help. And also like helping post-sale if issues come up, to make sure those customers are successful. And the same holds true for marketing. Right. I mean, we are tied to the hip with marketing. Most other organizations could be like, oh yeah, marketing's having a bad month, but don't worry, we're still cold calling and buying lists and all that kind of stuff that doesn't really work. We are heavily reliant on marketing. So we're constantly having meetings at every single level with marketing to understand where the quality flows and the lead sources are coming in, and coming up with sound bites and pitches on how to best sell into this particular lead source, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, and it's really interesting too because they're actually held to an SLA with you guys, which also improves the lead quality for the sales reps. Is that they actually have a quota of their own that says, hey, we have to get these many leads of such and such quality, and we have a whole system that's built into that, so that point system, so that makes sense.
We try to bring a lot of the subjectivity out of the sales process. I think, I'm an engineer by background, so I think I naturally gravitate to some of these items, but I just feel that some of the issues in sales are somewhat due to overly reliance on gut and qualitative measures and can be quantified a little bit more better. It's like, you can't quantify everything. There's still quite a bit of skill involved and art involved, but much more can be quantified, and the SLA you referred to is a great example. Go talk to any sales organization, ask them how their leads are for marketing. Most of them will say that they suck.
Right.
Like that's the only feedback that marketing is getting.
Right.
Well, let's quantify that. Like, what are the different demographics and the engagement levels of leads that actually close higher? You can statistically calculate that. Share it with the sales team. Salespeople are surprised, like, oh my goodness, people coming from these types of webinars are closing like crazy.
Yeah.
We want more of those, and I'm excited to see those. And that's great direction to marketing, that this particular type of lead that we can quantify is where you're headed.
Right.
And then sales owes marketing too. If they produce that type of lead, I'm going to call them this quickly, this many times, I'm going to get this many connects, I'm going to convert this many into our pipeline, I'm going to close this many. So both teams need to be held accountable to extremely detailed SLAs, and then the model works far better.
Yeah, and as like a sort of a HubSpot veteran, that is one of the things that I just love about this culture, is that it goes, it's not just the sales and marketing team, it's the product and engineering team, it's the customer team and the product team, it's the customer team and the sales team, like everybody really does have to work together, and it's, I think, a huge part of the success that we've had, not only as a growing company, but as the company that, people want to work for in Boston.